getting ready to install our 2-zone, 2.5 ton Mitsubishi. That will be going right there in the outdoor unit. We'll set it right there. The line set will come out right there, down the wall and line hide around the. We're gonna have to cut the gutter there, so we can go around the line hide, continue it, and then end up somewhere right there. Let's get started. So now we're getting ready to get our measurements for our backing plate so we can mount the air handler. So what we got to do is get the measurements. The top of the air handler has to be 3 inches from the ceiling. So what we do is we measure over 3 inches. We want to kind of be in the center of the windows here. So that's 22 inches. That's 22 inches there. So what we do is just go up here. We know we're going to cover this up, so that's no big deal. So we need to go over 11 inches. Alright, so that's 11 inches. Kind of make our mark about 1 inch back. And the reason so is so we don't have to, so that'll be covered up. So what we need to now do is figure out where 3 inches is going to be. So 3 inches is right here. 3 inches is right there. We need to come down 1 inch because our backing plate is about 1 inch. I'm going to give it 1 inch because there's holes in the center of the backing plate, and I'll show you those here in a second. So that's 1 inch right there. So what we do then is we take our straight edge. Before we do that though, we got to come over 4 inches because that's where our backing plate is going to be. 4 inches, like so. So then we take our straight edge, like so. And what this line is going to be is our backing plate line to line up the holes in the top, so we don't have to worry about keeping it level all the time, holding it level up there. So that's just how I do it, and I'll show you those holes here in a few minutes. So that is, on that backing plate, you'll see the holes, and we're going to use this line right here for those holes, and that way it'll keep this thing level. So that'll be 3 inches from here to here for the backing plate. Alright, so if you notice, you got a hole there, a hole there, a hole there, a hole there, and a hole there. These are the holes that are going to go up on the that line we just drew. And if you see, the distance between here and here is 3/4 inch. So I added 1 inch. That's why it drops down 1 inch. So that's why it goes 4 inches below the ceiling. We'll just use those holes as a measurement, so we don't have to worry about holding our level up there. These holes will give us our level mark. So there you go. Alright, remember we made a mark right there. That's going to be where our backing plate starts off right there. And I have a line all the way through, so that way all I have to do now is just make a mark right there. Then I'll make one here, make one over here, and then there you go. So we'll put one right there. We'll do one right there. We'll put one right there. And we'll put one over here in this corner here. We'll do one at the bottom here. We'll do one at the bottom right there. And then we'll do one at the bottom right here. That way we don't have to worry about, see, we got one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, and one there. That's all you need. You just, I know they got all these holes in the backing plate, but we don't need all those holes. It'll be the edge right here. So as you see, we have all our anchors in, except for right there. and there's a stud piece of wood there. So we're just going to get our screw. When you're going to make your hole, see, it's got that little line right there, and it tells you to center a hole 5 1/8. So all you do is measure from right there, 5 1/8 over. Now you got to be careful, because if you get below that line right there, your hole is going to show. So, so there you go. We're going to measure over 5 1/8. Make sure your hole saw doesn't get below here. So you kind of want to be up here. And so we got our hole drilled, and as you see that's going to be the side of the unit right there. We've got plenty of room there. So, and you got plenty of room there. But the hazard to this job installing is you have hazards like those wires that's in there, or you got studs. See, I just happened to get lucky on this one and missed that stud. But that's okay, because even though we have a 3-inch hole, and I didn't tell you, but that is a 3-inch hole there. That's okay. I always go down on the outside hole. So even though this one is here, let's say it's 12 inches from here down, I always go down, let's say 13 inches on the outside hole. And that's for the drain, because you always want the drain to tilt down, because if you don't, we're going to have a water leak. And the last thing we want is a water leak, because I don't want to pay for a sheetrock, and I know you don't want to either. We're going to just take my paddle bit there. We're going to kind of get the center. Going to go down just a little bit. There you go. Now we get to move the operation outside. With my trusty hole saw, I got the hole cut right up there. All right, let me show you. See how if you look in there, we're lower out here than we are in there. And like I said, the purpose of that is for the drain. I was going to try to just, see that mark up there, I was just going to try to use my knife and cut the vinyl siding out, but I was able to get it with the hole saw. And that's okay, because our line high will cover that up. And then once we get everything done, we'll spray foam it. Alright, as you can see, I have my 14-4 wire, 14-4 stranded, going through the wall. It's a lot easier to wire the unit up while everything's on the floor than it is to do it after the fact. So we're going to go in there and wire this thing up now. Alright, as you can see, this is where your electrical goes right here. We'll take that one screw off like so. See, it just pulls off right there. See how it just pulls off? There you go. Right, so we're looking at the back of the air handler, and as you see, you have your electrical hole, your knockout for your electrical. Now that is sharp, and so you just don't want the wire just going through there. So what we're going to do is put a plastic push-in connector, put that in there like that. It's just a 1/2 inch connector, and then we'll take our end of our wire like so, stick it in there, get it wired up. Alright, as you see, I got my wire pushed in there. This is very easy while it's on the floor. I'm telling you, if you don't do it, you're gonna hate yourself. You're gonna be like, I wish I would have listened to that guy. So what we'll do is we'll take a knife and we'll strip the insulation back, and then we'll wire it up. And as you see, black is going to go to S1, white's going to go to S2, red's going to go to S3, and then you get your ground on there. Alright, so I've got it wired up, S1, S2, and S3, and the ground. And if you notice, I put a connector on the ground because it's a lot easier just to put a connector on there and let the screw push the connector down than trying to hold the wire under it. And so now we're getting ready to pull my line set, my line set, my drain out, and then stick everything through the hole. See, Here's our little connector. Stick everything through the hole and start working from the outside then. Alright, well there she is in all her glory. And where she will live for the rest of eternity. So that's the sunroom wall unit hung on the wall. That's what we got sticking out the wall right there. That's what we got sticking out. Now I'm gonna go get my line hide, my T, my drain line, and get at least this part done. Alright, so we're in the basement now, and we're getting ready to put that 9,000 BTU head unit on the wall. The thing about this, the basement down here, is there is a 9-inch concrete wall that's gonna be in our way. It's dark on that side. I don't know if I'll be able to get any shots over there, but I'm hoping that we can go straight out through the wall side, and does go down so far. So I'm hoping it does go down far enough where we can just get out. If not, we're gonna have to go up and then across the ceiling and then into that room and then use a pump. I'd prefer not to use a pump, but if we have to use it, we'll use it, and if we do, I'll show you how to mount this thing. Alright, so there is the air handler out of the box, laying on the floor, getting ready to receive the wire. See, we got the plate mounted on the wall, and we're ready to go. I was able to, we had just enough space to punch our hole outside the outside wall, because we were originally going to go up into the ceiling and across. The only problem is I only have, by the time I've been the line set up, I only have 12 inches. And so right above the track of the lay-in ceiling is 12 inches from the top of the hole there. So there's just not enough room. We would have had to cut sheetrock to get it across the ceiling, and there's a 2x4 that runs across that top plate. I would have had to cut it out. So it's just easier to go right out the wall, and we don't have to use a pump, which is right there in that box. That is the pump. So one day we'll show you how to work that, but I'm taking that one back for credit, because now I got to buy more line hide, because we wasn't planning on going out through the outside wall. Alright, there is our basement unit hanging on the wall. Installation procedure is the same as the sunroom. They never change. Done exactly the same way. Alright, so I got the outdoor unit in place. I got my line hide. I'm going to spray that with a spray foam when I get done, along with the other side. But I had to just get a leak check done on the other. Had to get a leak check done on the system before I put the hoods on. Got 30-foot line set, and I was about that much too short right there. So I flared or swedged it, braced a new line on, flared me a new piece. I always use the flare nut that comes with the unit, the outdoor unit. Make you a new flare and use the flare nuts that they send with these units. They send them with the units for a reason. Use them. If you want a flawless flare every time, get you a Hillmore. Flawless every time. See, I got 327.5 for my pressure test. And I did, when I brazed that line set, I did use nitrogen. So now I'll get the electrical done, get my line hide done for that side, and get this thing, get a vacuum pulled and get it done. Alright, so we got it wired up, getting ready to open the valves, and then go start it up. So the only bad part about this job is right there, coming out the basement. See, I poked a hole out of the hood to run the drain line out of, but then go that way, and the opening was actually higher up there than it was down here, so I kind of had to run it up at an angle. But and then the supply house didn't have the two 45s right there, and believe it or not, they were out of couplings. So that piece, those two 45s right there, and that coupling held me up from doing the job, or finishing the job earlier. So, but that's all right because it's done now. So that's the line height for the basement. I mean for the sunroom. Goes down. I teed, brought the drain line out of that T, came across. All right, so here she's running. Gutter's fixed. Going around the line height. Can't beat it. Standing here talking normal. The unit's running. Look, there's water coming out of there. So, we're good.